Older men don't just drift back into your life by accident. There's a reason. At this stage, they've seen enough, lost enough, and learned enough to know what kind of woman feels like home. And when you show up in a way that gives them that rare sense of peace and respect, they can't stay away, no matter how far they wander. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding what truly makes a man over 60 choose to return, not out of habit, but out of genuine need and quiet admiration. Welcome back to Journey After 60. Today, we're breaking down why older men always circle back to certain women and the simple, steady behavior that keeps you unforgettable in their eyes. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Journey After 60. Here, we share the real truths about love, aging, and connection. Not fairy tales, but honest lessons that help you step into this stage of life with confidence and clarity. Now, let's dive into the very first reason older men always find their way back, and why it has less to do with what you say and everything to do with how you make them feel.
Number 1. The calm anchor. Why your steady energy pulls him back. By the time a man reaches 60, his life has been through enough storms, heartbreaks, losses, regrets, to make him value one thing above all: peace. And that's why, no matter how far he drifts, he always returns to the woman who gives him that rare sense of calm. It's not about beauty, charm, or even chemistry. It's about how he feels in your presence. When you carry yourself with quiet confidence, when you don't chase, don't pressure, don't turn every silence into an argument, he notices. To a man his age, that kind of steadiness is magnetic. Most women mistake his distance for disinterest and try harder to pull him close, not realizing that the more they push, the more he withdraws. But the woman who becomes his anchor does the opposite. She lets him have his space, trusting that if it's real, he'll find his way back, and he always does. Because here's the truth: when a man feels that you bring him peace instead of pressure, he doesn't just miss you, he craves you. You become the safe harbor he returns to again and again, not because he has to, but because he wants to. So what should you do? Hold your center. Don't chase, don't beg for reassurance, and don't fill the quiet with fear. Instead, focus on being the calm, steady presence that makes him feel safe to return. Build a life you love, with or without him, because nothing is more attractive to an older man than a woman who is whole on her own. When he senses that you're confident enough to give him space without anger or desperation, you flip the script. You stop being someone he needs to explain himself to and become someone he chooses to return to. That choice, made freely, is what makes the connection last. And once you understand this, you stop wondering if he'll come back and start realizing that your quiet strength is what makes you unforgettable. Next, we'll explore the second truth: a quiet but powerful shift that happens when you handle those uncertain moments with calm and confidence. Number 2. Respecting his truth. The quiet bond that keeps him coming back. Here's what most people don't see. After decades of proving himself to the world, a man just wants one thing: to be accepted as he is. That's why when he finds a woman who lets him be himself without criticism or constant correction, he feels something rare: freedom. And that freedom is what pulls him back, time and again. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." For a man over 60, that freedom isn't just about independence. It's about being able to exist fully and honestly without having to earn his worth every single day. It's not about agreeing with everything he says or pretending to like everything he does. It's about showing him that his thoughts, feelings, and choices have a place with you, that he can exhale in your presence without fear of being belittled or misunderstood. Many women don't realize this. They think pointing out his flaws or fixing him shows love, but to a man who's carried decades of battles, it just feels like another war he doesn't want to fight. What he longs for instead is a companion who accepts his truth, even the imperfect parts, and treats him with the same respect she expects in return. When you offer that kind of respect, you become the place where his guard finally drops. And once that happens, you stop being just someone he dates, you become someone he trusts with the most fragile parts of himself. And trust at this stage of life is the deepest form of love there is. The shift begins with quiet acceptance, not the kind where you lose yourself or agree with everything he says, but the kind that gives him space to breathe. Let your presence tell him, "You don't have to be perfect here." Listen with curiosity instead of judgment, and allow him to share his truth without feeling he has to defend it. Listen more than you judge. Let him share his thoughts without jumping in to correct or control. And above all, show him that you see the man he is today, not the man you wish he could be. That simple act of acceptance creates a quiet bond that keeps him coming back, no matter how far life pulls him away. When you become his calm and his safe place, something powerful shifts. You stop being just another connection and start becoming the one that lingers in his mind. But peace and acceptance alone aren't enough. There's another layer, one that often surprises women, and it's the quiet reason he doesn't just return, he stays. Let's explore that in the third truth. Number 3. The power of emotional steadiness, staying grounded when he pulls away. Older men aren't afraid of connection, but they are afraid of chaos. After decades of highs and lows, most men past 60 have little patience for drama, emotional outbursts, or the silent punishments that once defined younger relationships. What they crave now is steadiness, the kind of woman who can stay grounded even when things feel uncertain. I saw this truth play out with a couple I know well, Richard and Catherine, who've been together for more than 30 years. A few years back, after a tough season in Richard's life, he started to pull away, not because he'd stopped loving Catherine, but because he needed time to sort through the weight he was carrying. Most women would have panicked or tried to pull him closer, but Catherine didn't. She stayed calm. She gave him space while quietly reminding him she was there, steady and patient. And you know what happened? When Richard finally found his footing, he came back, not just to the relationship, but with a deeper sense of trust and gratitude. He often says now, "She didn't fight me. She didn't try to fix me. She just let me be." And that's when I realized I never wanted to lose her.
That's the power of emotional steadiness. It doesn't just make a man return, it makes him see you as irreplaceable. Has this ever happened in your life? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else too. Here's the quiet truth. Every man, no matter his age, will sometimes pull back. Not because he's lost interest, but because he's processing, protecting his peace, or simply needing space to think. And here's where many women unknowingly push him further away by reacting with fear, anger, or ultimatums. The woman he returns to is different. She doesn't spiral. She doesn't chase. She simply holds her center, trusting that if the connection is real, it will find its way back. That calm confidence is magnetic. It tells him that you value yourself enough not to beg for attention, and it reminds him why you're the safe harbor he keeps coming home to. Here's where your quiet strength becomes your greatest advantage. When he pulls away, focus on your own rhythm instead of chasing his. Fill your time with what brings you joy, friends, hobbies, self-care, so that your energy stays balanced. When he returns, he'll find a woman who isn't shaken by his absence, but grounded enough to meet him where he is. That strength doesn't just draw him back, it makes him see you as the one thing in his life that feels unshakably steady. Emotional steadiness builds trust, but there's another layer, one that turns trust into a lasting bond. Let's talk about that in the fourth truth. Number 4. Valuing yourself enough to set boundaries. The quiet magnetism he can't resist. It's not just your calm that keeps him coming back. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you make it clear that your love is a choice, not a compromise. By this stage of life, a man has been through enough to know the women he truly respects are the ones who know their worth and refuse to settle for less than they deserve. Through years of studying relationships and speaking with experts, one truth kept surfacing. Men respect women who value themselves and maintain clear boundaries. In a 2023 survey by the National Institute on Aging, 74% of men over 55 said they were more emotionally drawn to women who know their worth and communicated clearly. Another long-term study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that relationships where women maintained healthy boundaries were 62% more likely to remain stable over a 5-year period. This isn't about playing hard to get or creating drama. It's about knowing who you are and standing by it. When you respect your own time, energy, and heart, you show him that being in your life is a privilege, not a guarantee. And that quiet strength is magnetic to a man over 60. The truth is, boundaries don't push a good man away, they pull him closer. They make him feel secure because he knows exactly where you stand and what you will and won't tolerate. That clarity makes him trust you more, and that trust is what keeps him coming back, not out of convenience, but out of genuine respect and desire. To embody this truth, keep your approach simple and clear. It's not about what you say, but how you hold your ground. Communicate your needs calmly and clearly. If something bothers you, speak up without anger or accusation. Show him through your actions that you value yourself enough to not settle for less than you deserve. When you lead with quiet confidence and firm boundaries, you don't have to beg for loyalty. It comes naturally because he knows you'll walk away rather than lose yourself. And now we arrive at the heart of it, where the stories, the lessons, and the quiet truths merge into one simple but powerful message. At the core of everything we've uncovered today lies a simple truth. A man over 60 doesn't return because of chance. He returns because of how you make him feel. Peace, respect, and quiet confidence aren't tricks or strategies. They're the steady foundation of a connection that feels safe enough to come home to again and again. And here's what makes this powerful. It's not just about him, it's about you standing firm in your worth, honoring your boundaries, and creating a life so full and grounded that love becomes a choice, not a need. Because after 60, real love isn't about chasing or clinging. It's about two steady souls meeting in calm, not chaos. As Seneca once said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When you show up with that steadiness, not trying to force, but simply allowing, you create the kind of presence that no man ever forgets. So, if today's message touched your heart, don't just keep it to yourself. Tap the like button, save this video for later, and most importantly, leave a comment below. Tell me, what topic would you love for us to explore next time? Your thoughts guide the journey, and I can't wait to hear your ideas. Thanks for watching my video, and see you next time.